I will never understand for the God of me why at a public restaurant, really anywhere public, how come in the bathroom when I'm sitting on the toilet, there is a long ass meter to watch me in my most vulnerable moment? Let me tell you a true story. I went to a Taco Bell. Problem number one, which is odd that their bathroom would be specialized for this, right? And I've noticed this even at my gym, and it seems like all public places now, they have it set up where you're sitting on the toilet and then there's a long mirror staring right back at you with your pants pulled down, right? It's not exactly the moment I want to see my full body in full effect. Because it's like, I don't know what's weirder. Having the thing you're staring straight at is the mirror, is a long mirror to watch, no pun intended, to watch the shit you're going through. Or to be sitting on the toilet and have be the door where if someone walks in on you, it's all there. Because I've had that happen a few times. Why can't we just design the bathroom to be normal? Why does it have to be, I have to watch myself take a shit? What happened to where it's just a sink and then you have the mirror above where it's like, I may see the top of my head. I may see myself spraining. That's why you stretch before you drop these bombs. But I was just sitting there on the toilet, and I'm just literally like, I've got to write this in my notes. And this is how I'll tell you how fucked up I am and how committed to content I am. That I legitimately wrote in my notes for podcast ideas. Sitting on the toilet with mirror to stare back at yourself. ... In parentheses. A sad image. Yes, it's a very sad image. Because nothing's weirder than when you stand up. Your pants are down. And there is this type of trendy thing. Is it normal to wipe your ass while standing up? Or is that one of those things that you should not sit up from the toilet until you are clean, Look, we're in America. We don't have these heated squirting water up our ass toilets to clean it for us. So in order for us to get full range of motion back there, you do have to stand up. I don't care how weird it looks. If you're in an isolated bathroom where the door is locked, make sure the door is locked. Rule number 1. Because 15% of the time at these places, these locks don't work. All right, I don't care what anyone says. It's okay to stand up because, to get the real lower part of the, I don't know how else to put it, the anus, to increase, no pun intended, maximum coverage of security to wipe cleanly, you have to stand up as a guy. It may be weird because you're angling your elbows kind of back to, you don't want to dig too far deep because if you find out you enjoy it, you've opened a can of worms, and hopefully it's not actual tapeworm. When you're in these establishments, there's a good chance you're probably going to get tapeworm. But, I just don't understand the whole long mirror. It's like one of those mirrors that if you're at home, about to go, for the ladies, you're about to go out for a night out to attract, these stud muffins. It's one of these long mirrors that you look at to make sure you get your full figure. Maybe you have one of those mirrors that they have at these department stores where they are designed to make you look better. I think they're called, it sounds like it's an illegal thing, but it's not, where they put things in mirrors to make you appear to look better, whether it's skinnier, curvy, thicker. Imagine there's just some guy that's controlling the mirror. The way it's like, this person's looking in the mirror. Let's shape the mirror to their curves, right? Only if it would do that, for us guys when we're looking in the mirror to below the Orion's belt. And it's like, hey, guy that's stalking through the mirror, can you give me a little extra curve? Because she's having trouble with the curve. Well, my name is Clint. And Eastwood did direct the film Trouble with the Curve. Or he was in it. Might as well have directed it. When you're Clint Eastwood to that status, you can just say you directed any movie you're in past the age of 70 because you're barely there. You're barely mentally there when you're acting, right? But yeah, I don't know. I guess the whole point of all that is, guys, just you don't have to, we have this deception to looking at ourselves doing things. The gym is a whole different issue. At least there's a reason. You're trying to see your gains. You're trying to see your progress. You're trying to see what you're doing, for form. I don't need to see the form of how I'm shitting. Sometimes my knees are more outward. Sometimes they're inwards. I said inwards. Inwards, acute angles, not, the letter N words. I don't know why I have to clarify that. That's so bad. Your knees are inwards, okay? INWARDS, all right? I don't need to see. My legs will go numb. You tilt forward, your thighs will go numb. If you're sitting for too long, you're a little too comfortable, your feet are going to start tingly. You might be feeling a tingly sensation. And I can tell you, it ain't from the grilled cheese burrito coming through. But yeah, that's all I got. Welcome to episode 261 of the Off Beat Podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Most important, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to suck some titties. Yeah. But, you're probably shitting bricks because you're not really consuming the right products. You're not getting your vitamins. You're not getting your nutrients. Well, let me help you with that. How about you try this product called Magic Mind? I almost fucked up the name. It's only the 6th time I've done this sponsor. Why don't you guys try Magic Mind? Magic Mind is a great nootropic, shot-driven, smoothie-looking, tasty drink. I drink it before every episode. Ever since I've started sponsoring this product for the show, I've drank it before every episode. And boy, it is such a better alternative than drinking these caffeinated, high energy, crash drinks. It's actually, you drink it and you realize, I'm good. It's potent. You don't need a whole lot to feel good. 1 or 2 shots of it, you're good to go for the day. Now, support the boy. There'll be a link below the episode description. I'll have the sponsor link, which is www.magicmind.com/offandbeatw. And then I'll have my sponsor code that you guys can use. Yes, the name of the show. It's actually sponsor code. If you use the sponsor code, you'll get up to 56% off your subscription for the next 10 days with my code. And your code, my code specifically, will be valid forever as a 20% off for both a one-time purchase and subscriptions. So basically, 20% off for a one-time purchase, just to try it, essentially. Then if you want to commit to the subscriptions, 56% off when you use my code OFFandBeat20. OFF, the letter N, BEAT20. I repeat the code, OFFNBEAT20. I'll have it below in the description. You guys could copy, paste the description, put it somewhere, save it, and use my code. Guys, take advantage of it. It's a great product. I really enjoy it. It's got a lot of ashwagandha by Copa Manier. It has all natural ingredients along with matcha. Instead of going to Dunkin' to pay $7 for one matcha, invest in some quality matcha, not some bullshit powder you get at these places, right? Make sure you're getting the real thing. And then you get some shrooms. Alright. It's good quality ingredients in there, guys. Just find the link in my description and support the boy. Now back to the episode. Snap. Now we are switching. It's time for a switcheroo. Alright. Welcome to episode 261, the Off Beat Podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Most important, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to suck some titties. Yeah. Yeet. Recording this, I technically did a double header today. And I ain't talking about, a double header from the ladies. This ain't softball. I got nothing but hard balls down here with a little cyst magic. That's a nice cyst on your ball sack. And you're like, well. Little did you know, I could put a few bumps in your road. Is that a chlamydia joke? I don't know. But yeah, recording this at 2 a.m. Yes, I am doing an After Dark Part 2. This is not an After Dark Part 2. That's not what I'm going to name the episode, but same type of vibe, I was not expecting to do a second episode today, but, sometimes you feel inspired. You feel motivated, and you're just like, God, I've never been more motivated in my life, Well, I wouldn't say I've never been more motivated, but it's almost like if I don't take advantage of this feeling I've curated for myself today, it's a wasted opportunity, You don't want to be that guy that just is one big wasted opportunity in life, Like when they talk about retired athletes, someone who didn't maximize their talent, like they're saying about Kadarius Toney right now, wide receiver for the Chiefs. He's like blowing his opportunity. So former first round pick for the Giants. He basically got traded like after one season. Maybe it was a season and a half, if that. It was just like, bro, yes, this dude's fast, but comes with a lot of problems. And he doesn't put his foot behind the line. The Chiefs found out the hard way. And before the Super Bowl and the playoffs, he's kind of going on social media, doing these Twitter, Instagram rants, basically putting in his stories that they're fucking lying on my name. I'm not really hurt. I can play. And the Chiefs are like, well, he's on the injury report. We'll see how he feels. And he's like, no, I'm good. They're trying to lie on my name, this, that, and the other. And I was watching Cam Newton. He has a show on YouTube / I think it's a podcast. It's actually pretty good. It's really entertaining. And he basically said, bruh, you're fucking up your chance, right? He's like, I'm not in the league because they're saying I'm not good enough to be in the league. Whether that's true or not, it's up for debate. But for Kadarius Toney, the issue with him, for example, is that he's causing more trouble than he's worth, right? You don't want to be the guy in life or the person in life that causes more trouble than you're worth. Because once you're more trouble than you produce or what you provide or what is worth dealing with, what I've realized a lot of employers, as I was listening to someone, and I forgot who, but he's like when you start your own business and stuff, he said 50% of what I dictate of whether I hire someone is whether they are easy to work with. Do they get along with people? Doesn't mean you're not going to have contentious moments, but overall, do you get along with people? He's like, 50% is really, will you be someone to get along with? 30% of it will be the skill, and then 20% of it, I think he said, was something along the lines of just how much do you care about it, right? And, I care, So, am I easy to get along with? I think I'm pretty easy to get along with. But yeah. I realize I watch a lot of YouTube. And I realize I watch way more YouTube than I do actual, movies and shows. I have a whole HBO Max subscription. Curb Your Enthusiasm. I've seen all the Curb memes. I've watched a few episodes. I'm aware of the show. I know how the show is. And yet I have not sat and actually watched down more than a few episodes. And they're literally had the season. They're having the final season that dropped on HBO Max. And I want to watch it. But I'm more interested on watching what Mike Rowe has to say about 4-year college degrees. Or watching, some, short video of someone making a sandwich at a country club. And, I'm not a cook. I'm not a chef. I'm a cook. But you have to say you're a chef in order to, project and kind of manifest that you're a chef, right? I'm watching because it's I don't think really, in my opinion, I honestly don't really think it's just because people have short attention spans. I don't think that's the reason specifically of why people don't sit down and watch movies. I don't think that's why people don't really binge watch TV shows. I think the appeal of why more people are into shorter content, YouTube and podcasts, is because I think we just like variety. We like a buffet of things. We're obese motherfuckers when it comes to consuming shit. Sometimes from a food standpoint, but we're obese in terms of the variety of what we can have at any moment. Sometimes it's I want to watch 15 minutes of this and then I switch over to something else. And I want to come back to it 30 minutes later. It's if you go to a Chinese buffet, you don't want to just for 2 hours straight just get nothing but sesame chicken. And I think the beauty of podcasts is if you're listening to a 2 or 3 hour conversation, typically they're going to talk about one thing for 8 minutes, another for a couple, transition some, and it's a way to keep you stimulated. Where a movie, it's one continuous story. And sometimes it's a great change up. I actually have been at least once a week, not been forcing myself, but making an exerted effort to watch the set time to just shut everything off, but hook up my laptop on the big screen the one time a week like I'm a fucking kid on some type of restriction. And I just decide I am going to dedicate and just relax and watch a movie. And typically that's been Rocky. I watched Rocky 4 last night. The actual one with Drago. Where he actually, killed Apollo or whatever. Now, I fell asleep right before Rocky was about to fight him in the ring because I was tired. And I woke up, I'm like, fuck, I watched the whole part of training in Russia, all that cool shit. I love the montages of training. I don't know what it is. It's inspiring. And I realize I enjoy the change up of just watching something that's a continuous thing that you're just following. There's no stress involved. I don't need to be extra. This is a movie made in 1985, I think it said. A movie from 1985. It's not some crazy graphics, not some crazy. It's just good movie from a action standpoint, good storytelling, dialogue, 1.5 hour movie. Interesting, captivating, some cheesiness, but interesting. And it's just one story. It didn't need a bunch of bells and whistles. And I think what that proved to us, and maybe I'm just someone that's more adapted to, I like listening and watching stuff that's longer form. I'm a little bit older. I don't need to watch a bunch of TikTok or shorts. And I think what it showed, it's not really, I think the change up is always, there's always a zig to zag. When there's something trending, we secretly always just once in a while want to feel the other side. We want to feel everything. That's what she said. Speaking of feeling everything. So, and with that being said, we want to feel everything. And like I came across this video from Vice. They do those Vice. On Vice, they do this kind of the truth about fill in the blank. Typically, it's about like truth about cults, the truth about being a spa worker, the truth about being, a butler for a billionaire, the truth about working on a yacht, what really goes on. Typically, it has to do with like sex orgies, drug dealing, blah, 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 the good stuff. And this one had to do about what it's like going to sex clubs, right? And I've never had a desire to go to a sex club at any point in my life. I don't see the appeal of going to a place with nasty ass people. Not that people that want to go to these places are nasty, but you get more than 20 or 30 people together trying to do something nasty, some nasty shit's gonna happen. Someone's getting something. I'm not talking about disease. I'm talking about someone's going to be left out. That's the issue with these sex club orgies, I would assume, And the way they're describing it, they describe like, you have swingers, you have old men that it's mostly thin, white, frail, white dudes. Typically, people of different ethnicities and races, it's not really the scene for them. They're not really accepted. I don't know what that means, but it's like you typically have to be just a normal, attractive person to be let in. And if you're not, if you're like some 60-year-old dude, you have to be there. You have to bring some young, you have to bring some young stuff with you. Not necessarily underage, but, like a 19-year-old Thailand girl. Might be a girl. But the way this person that's, wearing a mask and describing it to protect their identity is she gave an example where she was, playing, having fun while people are all around. By the way, apparently a thing is it is rude as well. This was in Britain, Birmingham specifically, to wank, which basically means to jerk off while making eye contact while other people commit acts. It's considered rude, and you will immediately get banned from that sex club. I'm like, that's where you draw the line? Some guys just making eye contact with you, masturbating, and that's like, hey, have some ethics around here. It's like, there's only 22 people on these 3 futons just doing X, Y, and Z, and this guy just wants to give people space and just like, well, I'm not a part of this. Boom, boom, boom. It's like, now we have like some crazy moral ethics. I don't know. Seemed a little extreme. It's always weird when these openness things, we have to create these boundaries of ethics. It's like a guy beating off, making eye contact with someone who's getting railed by one person, fingered by another, getting pissed in the face by another, but him staring at you while he's beating off 8 feet away. That's where we draw the line? Okay. Sorry. I guess I don't understand safe spaces that well. But the way she described it, it's like, the issue is like swingers, people that are like newly into it. It's exciting and fun. And a guy and a girl will go there together. They could be married or be together. They're literally next to each other. He's doing something to one person. She's laying down. She was getting something from her, but you could tell she wasn't present. She was focused on what he was doing, and you could tell she was feeling uncomfortable. But there's this pressure that if he pays for both of their entries, she's got to enjoy her experience and not bother him or ruin his experience, or creates this weird thing where it's like, she just got to pretend she's okay with it. It's like, what do you think was going to happen? What did you think was how you were going to feel when you're going there with your partner and you go to a open sex club? Like, what do you think you're going to be watching them doing? Like, if I was swinging, right? If me and a lady, we were into swinging, which the only thing I'm swinging around is these elbows. Because I'm getting so thick that I can't even walk through door frames. But yeah, it's just like I hate when people like go to environments and they are surprised when the environment is very uncomfortable. It's like what did you think it was gonna be? I don't know, but I found the video fascinating. It's like the inside world of what happens at these taboo situations, these taboo places. You know, I don't even know if like, is that stuff legal? Like, obviously it's legal. Is it like one of those things you're like, it's a club? They don't identify as that, but it's just kind of like understood. It's like when strip clubs kind of turn into, hey, for $100, you go upstairs and she'll, make you lose your 19-year-old virginity, you know? I'm not saying from experience. I'm just saying I know what happens, okay? Where it's like, you see the cops are there. They're enjoying themselves. They know what's happening. It's technically illegal, but if they get some free drinks and stuff, they don't say anything, you know. Welcome to Metro Atlanta. But I don't think you could just go into Google and just type in sex clubs near me. I mean, I wouldn't even want to put that in my search engine. But now that I've said it out loud and my phone's nearby, it's going to be like, anytime I type in to search for seahorses, by the time I type in SC is going to be like, sex clubs near me. And I'm going to be like, no, I'd rather this not be in my recent searches. This is not going to be a good look. Even though I've actually been told about this stuff, you know. And typically, I'm going to be honest, most people that go to these sex clubs are really into like they just like to do drugs. And it doesn't mean they do drugs while there, but every person that I've been in a close capacity with, whether it's just passed by, ex-co-workers. Like, you know, I've worked with, you know, you work certain jobs, you're around people of all types of life. It's just a reality, you know. And I've worked with people that, you know, they do X, Y, and Z every day. They do a shitload of different type of drugs of some sort. They're into a certain lifestyle. Life gets a little bit boring. They're broke as hell all the time, and they just need something to feel excited about. And apparently these things aren't really that expensive. And then when you're close enough to the scene downtown, you can find anything, right? And I was actually invited to one of these things. This was way, way younger. I mean, I was probably like 22, 23-ish. You know, I was invited to go to one of these things. Now, I had a girlfriend at the time, so it was not going to happen. But did I think about inviting my girlfriend to it? No. No. The personalities of us would not, it's just not one. I think there's a personality aspect to it. I don't know how that, see, this is how you know this is a crazy ass podcast. One episode I'm talking about John Delaney, the guy on the Ramsey Network, and now I'm talking about sex clubs. It just goes to show you can find anything you want on this podcast. This podcast is really just like a one big Costco warehouse. You can buy anything you want in bulk here. But, you know, I don't know. I just don't, me personally, I think it's not the shame, the lifestyle, right? I'm all about living your best life, right? I just think that sex clubs are a cheap out to actually. I don't think you can count sex clubs as like you caught a body. I hate to use the term. You caught a body. Like you went on 43rd Street in Chicago or whatever, or the G Block. Like, I caught a body. It's like, I don't think you can really count a sex club as part of your body count. If that's something that you're obsessed with, tell them, like, you can't add 4 people to your body count resume if it happened at a sex club. Because, there was no effort to be put into, right? Like, it's not, like, for example, like, you can't really count something as a view or a subscriber if you, like, took someone's phone and just pressed the subscribe button on their phone for your channel or something like that, for an example. Or you just, like, what is it called when they have those troll farms or those streaming farms where they just simulate plays, but no one's actually playing. They just have like 85 phones hooked up to these robot mechanical shit that's keeping shit going. Like, you can't really count it as a real view or a real subscribe or a real engagement. You can't count a sexual engagement at a sex club a real sexual engagement because there was no real pure intention. There was no real skill that it took to, capture her soul, It's like she was already loosened up. Like, you did nothing to loosen her up. And, you did nothing to prime his pump up. Like, everyone came prepared there to do one thing. And that is just, who's ever here, you're in the clear. Take a CPR class. Oh, someone's going to need a CPAP. Was it a CPAP machine? Where you just, do CPR on someone mechanically or electrically because everyone's ODing on the Molly. But yeah. I don't know, man. And, it's like there's going to be people like, oh, you just don't understand. That's just ignorant to say. You don't know what happens. It's actually a very real courting process. It's like, all right, you could pretend to have a little small talk for 10 minutes, get to know someone, but, you already know what each other's interests are. So I don't think you're really reinventing the wheel. But yeah. Anyways, going to move on. We're going to go back to PG appropriate show. So, would you ever go to an amusement park and if someone paid you $1,000 on a ride that wasn't working, would you climb up to the highest part of that ride? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Sorry. Sometimes you get like notifications or emails or some shit in the mail while you're doing something and it throws you completely fucking off. You don't know why. That's what happened. But yeah. I want to just, I might start doing. I really want to I'm just going to start throwing random requests out there. Like I was thinking about there's a YouTuber / fitness influencer that would have no business to want to come on a channel with as little amount of subscribers and views as I get at this point compared to them. But they seem like such a noble, decent person that I think if they had the time, they read the email, they might just be like, fuck it. Because what's weird is sometimes you're so into what you do in your circle of your interests that you think that everything you watch or everyone that you watch that you're entertained by, that you are a consumer of, I think we all think that everyone we watch and everyone that watches us, we just all like the same things because we just watch and listen to this one specific thing, this aspect of a person. And it's weird because I watch this fitness influencer named Max Taylor. He's a natural bodybuilder. Well, now he's like a bodybuilder because he's actually like competed in shows. He's a natural. He's working on getting his IFBB Pro card. And to be honest, I don't really watch fitness content that much anymore. Like last year, for a good 6+ months, I was like every video, every Sunday, all these other ones, these Alex Eubanks. And I've actually never watched Sam Solar, but just across the board, you watch enough of these fitness influencers because it was during the time where I was working out pretty hardcore, excessively, enjoying it, really into it. I still work out, but it's at more of like a hobby-ish now. It's not like this full commitment, I'm more of just like a maintaining, focused on other stuff. But I'm still working out exercise. So I guess that's why like my interests of what I'm focusing on typically gravitates to what we consume. So maybe that's why I don't consume as much fitness. But I've really thought about just like sending him an email or something. Be like, I would like to interview you for my podcast. Not because of the views specifically, all that stuff. I generally just would like to talk to someone that's in that space that like, it's something different than what I think, right? I enjoy his videos, and I've never seen him on a podcast. Maybe I've never looked if he's been, but I would feel like he's in my algorithm. If he was on some podcasts, I would have seen him by now. If he has, it's maybe been one or two, or some interviews. But I would like to have him like just a full, just like unedited, unfiltered, unleashed. And I would actually prepare for it because I would feel like an idiot if I didn't prepare for something like that. Sometimes pressure causes preparation, or is it preparation eases pressure when pressure is applied? And when pressure is applied, the booty is obliged. Mary J. Which he does quite a bit at the end of his videos. And if it comes on the show, I'll promote your pre-workout. How about that? Not that me promoting it is going to do a whole lot for him. But send a pre-workout out. I'll try it. Hopefully I get wrecked. Huh? Get it? All right. But yeah, I'm going to start just like influencers, people that I watch, people that I enjoy. Just like fuck it. Because sometimes I'll see people I like and they'll do smaller shows. And I think it's just because sometimes it's like, hey, it's something different for them. They're tired. I think a lot of people, they get to a certain level, like whether it's comedians, fitness people, unless it's like the biggest of the biggest, they're going to do the modern wisdoms. They're going to do the, obviously the Rogans or Flagrant if they get to that, or they're going to do some like, even now, like a George Janko podcast. They're going to do the podcast like it's going to be such a reach in terms of audience they reach. They would be stupid not to do it. But sometimes the bigger the show, they all can kind of blend in together. It's like, I think sometimes it's like the Mark Normans of the world. And I know I talk about him a lot, but he may not do it as much anymore. But I remember like, before he got like really, really big, this dude was just doing every and any podcast because he even said he looked at as like every chance as a opportunity to get one more fan or one more person, one more ticket, spending 50 minutes on some person's podcast that has 500 subscribers just because they asked. It's like, why not? I have 50 minutes. I can carry the show, blah, blah, blah. It's like they're just asking me questions, and it's a win-win situation. And I think sometimes it's just like, sometimes when you get to a certain level, sometimes it's nice to just be like, you know what? I just want to do something simple. Something that doesn't have crazy stakes because I do believe there is a pressure. Like when you start getting on these bigger podcasts, you don't want to bomb. You don't want to not be prepared. You don't want to look stupid. You don't want to be like a fish out of water in a sense, or a squid out of the fish tank. And I think sometimes like it's low pressure. It's like maybe like 8,000 people are going to view this video in like 3 months. It's like, it's more than they'll ever get. But for me, it's like, it's not going to be, if it's not the greatest show ever, it's not going to matter that much. Like, I've got 2 successful podcasts. I got a great career, all this stuff. Like, it's whatever. And I think it's just like, it looks as more like it's just some fun. And it probably makes them feel good. It's like when you give someone money or you give charity in some way, it makes you feel good. There's a selfish aspect. Like, you know what? I did them a favor. So I might just start asking. Just send like, hey, want to do my show? And they'll probably be like, YouTube, block this guy's channel. How the fuck is he have the audacity? But that's also weird. Like, is it weirder to reach out to someone for them to come on your show or for you to go on their show? I think it's always like, I think the more normal things like, hey, would you like to come on my show? Because like, you're basically saying, hey, come on my show. I'll do the preparation. I'll do the work. I'll interview you. You just come in and show up. And it's like, typically if you have someone come on your show, more likely there's a appeal that I'm providing something to you as well. Like, I have the balls to ask you to come on my show because I may do some type of interview you've never been part of, or some type of show you've never been part of, or maybe my audience is a lot bigger than yours at the moment, and this is a great opportunity, but I think you're great, and I think I can expose you to a different audience. Whereas, like, if you ask to go on someone's show that has a bigger audience than you, and you don't really know the person that well, they're just going to look at you and be like, oh, you're just using me for my audience. You're just kind of fame hungry. You're just kind of trying to get some popularity for your own sake, but you're not really doing much for us unless you're actually like really good at what you do. Unless you're going to bring some to our show that's never been done, or the funniest motherfucker, the most entertaining, or the most knowledgeable person. And I thought, it's always weird. Like, it's always weird for me to ask to be on. Like, you always want to feel invited to someone, because it's always going to be a better experience when someone's like, because they thought about you, they thought about, wow, this person would be fucking amazing here, or this would be interesting. It's like, you didn't like, hey, let me come on, man, I'll be great. And then they're like, all right, fine. And then you go there and then you shit their toilet seat. And they see you standing up while wiping, and they're like, oh, this is who the fuck I just invited to my house? Okay. Big mistake-o. But, maybe part of me is the reason why I haven't asked, because maybe I don't feel like I'm ready to have a guest. And I was really thinking about this earlier. This is a weird, just like, open thought train I'm having going on right now. Is that I really saw, like, obviously I'm not Bill Burr. I would never say something like that. That's insanity. But to see, like, how he'll just casually once in a while do guests. And when he does a guest, that's when he posts it on the YouTube, right? It's like, he doesn't force. He only has guests on that. It's not a guest-dependent podcast. It doesn't feel like it's just we got to have this guest. And some of these podcasts are too scheduled. They're too planned. They're just like, oh, I'm going to have my guest every Friday. We post at 12 p.m. And, everyone gets the same show. It's like, I like the feeling of he can just do a show for 30 minutes solo, rant about X, Y, and Z, talk about what happened that weekend, and it's entertaining. Or he could do an hour and 50-minute interview with John Lovitz. It's like, it's kind of odd, never expect, but there's an appeal that he even interviewed Adam Driver. And it's not every week, it's just like, whenever I get a guest I want to talk to, this is what we do. That's the type of show I want, where it's just like, I don't have to worry, I'm not reliant on guests, but I attract where guests want to come on, and it's something different, it's a change up for the audience, and it's nice, That is, I know I've said it for like almost 8 months now. There will be a guest soon. All right. Because I do have a couple people that like, hey, they want to come on. It's just about, timing, setting the stuff up, not having it interfere with Valentine's. And Jesus, like February is a busy ass month. I got 2 birthdays to worry about. Not worry about, but I got 2 birthdays to be mindful of. Valentine's. It's a short month. Damn, I didn't even think about that. It's a short fucking month. Damn, I'm not going to get 5 paychecks this month. That's the broke boy talk. Man, I'm only going to get 4 paychecks and not 5 like I thought. Oh, man. But it is leap year. So you get that extra day. Yep. You give me something to podcast about. By the way, I just want to say, I appreciate the recent engagement on the show. I've been saying that a lot recently, but it's nice to see things are starting to go in the right direction. That's all we want to see. We are creatures of progress. It's like the analogy I've given before. I think I gave it 3 or 4 episodes ago, but any for the new listeners and viewers, whichever you happen to fall in line with, no pun intended. It's like we just want to feel like the line is moving. It's not about it being, it could literally be making no progress, essentially. Like, just because people are moving up in line, like someone, you're at a pickup place or a coffee shop, someone takes one order, then they go make the order. But just the fact that they move to the side, the next person moves up, and then there's this chain effect of 7 people moving 3 feet ahead of where they were before every couple 2 to 3 minutes. You're still going to wait 20 minutes till you actually place your order, but just the fact your body's moving, you're not getting anxious, you're not getting frustrated, you're not getting nervous looking down at your phone, awkward looking around like, what the fuck? Like, should I just go do something else? Should I just go, slit my nose off? I can't smell anyways, But it's just the feeling of progress. It's almost like the illusion of progress. Because even when not really any substantial progress is really being made, but the feeling of progress is enough to make you lie to yourself that everything's okay. It's that type of thing. And then that's why there's this whole trend about quote unquote quitting YouTube, right? I'm a podcaster. I'm not really a YouTuber. I post on YouTube. I think they're 2 different things. It's like YouTube is like where you dedicate specific stylized videos. But then again, if you post on YouTube, you technically are a YouTuber. You can't say, you can't say you're not a masonry if you don't. You can't say, hey, I'm not a masonry. It's like, yeah, but you're doing masonry stuff. You're doing masonry stuff. I don't know how else to put it. It's like, I'm not in the app business. I just kind of designed the template for people to, I created an app so people can make their own apps, And it's like, so you're in the app business. Like, no, I created the template for your apps so more people can make apps. Okay, so you'll are you in the all you can eat appetizers? Like, no, I create apps. It's like, all right, man. It's all these technical. But yeah. I'm in the business of, oh yeah, what was I talking about? God damn it, Clint. Fuck shit. Kneecaps. Someone just punched my knee right now. So I can just knee my stomach. Knees to toes. Good knee flexibility for these hoes. Keep it on the down low. God damn it. I really did forget what I was talking about. It's fine. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Damn, I need to do my taxes. I'm a terrible self-snitcher, I may be one of those guys that like, I'm probably not who you want if you're trying to keep a secret, together, I'm not out here snitching on something, but it may come out in different ways. And then people like, and I'll be like, oh, I didn't even realize I said something like that. That's why I like, I'm just tired of being the guy that hold people's secrets, I haven't had the whole people's secrets in a while, but secrets just make life stressful, Ever been around the guy that he tells you everything he doesn't tell his girlfriend, but he tells you everything that's wrong with him and his girlfriend and how they fight, they stress, they argue. She keeps fucking his brother, and he just doesn't know what to do with it. You're just like, I think you're saying exactly. He's like, yeah, but sometimes love is hard. You just got to work through it. And you're like, no, you don't. You actually don't have to work through it. You do the opposite. You actually work away from it, Sometimes it's okay to reverse. But, we all just want to work through it. And it's nauseating. When people like want your advice, you give them your advice, you tell them the obvious, and they're just like, yeah, I hear you, but I guess I just gotta keep trying. I just gotta keep pushing forward. It's like, well, you know what, man? To keep pushing forward and keep pushing me away to never fucking help you with anything, They're the type of people you can give them the manual of how to you can give them a manual of how to put a dresser together. Give them all the tools, all the X, Y, and Z. All they have to do is slide a couple covers, screw a couple shit up, and they're like, yeah, I appreciate, you gave me the template, you gave me the tools, you even laid it out perfectly for me, but, I just think that, I should just do something different. And you're like, you know what, man? Fine, put it together. Then 2 years from now, when it collapses on your foot when you're pulling out the underwear, go ahead. I don't care. It's your Tommy John's, not mine. Then when you have a broken foot, swells up, and then you have to cut it off and amputate it because 800 pounds of just pure wood just dropping on your foot. Fine, go the fuck ahead. Don't take my advice. And then when you go through surgery, come out of it, and your insurance doesn't cover because you're like, when people told you like, yeah, you should probably get insurance, and you're like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I need insurance. You're like, all right, bud. It was offered through your job for like $20 a week, but you know what? Fine. Do what the fuck you want. And then when you can't afford to pay it, just be like, you know what? I just think I won't pay it. It's like, fine, man. Then when you go crazy amount of the debt collector comes 7 years later. They throw you in jail because you refuse to pay it. They garnish your wages. They take all your assets away. Then what? Then you're going to be in jail you're going to be speaking in front of a jury, speaking in front of a judge. You'll be like, so what's going to be your payment plan, sir? And you just be like, you know what? I actually don't believe in payment plans. I think I'm going to do something different. And they're like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Then you're going to use tax dollars. You're going to be in jail. Get relinquished on your financial records. And then guess what? It's going to be passed down on your loved ones. Because you didn't want to pay for your shit. You didn't want to learn how to just put your dresser together. And it all started when you could have just put your dresser together. So, more of all that is just sometimes just read the instruction manual. But yeah. Pure life. Pure hoes. Sex clubs is where they all go. No shade unless it's in the shade room. Or it's my ball sack. Going where the eyes groom. Nice eyelashes. Alright. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Should have wrapped it up in the club. soda. Love in this club. I forgot that Usher's doing the halftime show. By the way, his NPR Tiny Desk concert. I admit, I still replay that shit every couple weeks. Probably the best Tiny Desk concert I've ever heard. I haven't listened to many, but it's definitely better than most of the ones I've heard. It's weird because people are like, oh, what is he going to do? He's going to do a halftime show that no one's ever done. It's like, he's going to do a medley of his My Way hits. He's going to do the Confessions. He's going to do the Superstar, the 8701 record, You Don't Have to Call. Then he's going to do probably like 40 seconds of Good, Summer Walker coming out. And then, he's going to have just like a medley of 12 songs. He's going to do the Justin Timberlake thing. Singing, dancing, having a great ass band. I know they're different artists, but I think it's going to be a similar thing. It's just going to be a medley of hits. That's the issue. When you have so many fucking hits, you just got to do like 40-second snippets or minute snippets with a bunch of dancing and a routine. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just, bring out Janet Jackson for an honorable mention for maybe this time show the other titty. Cause it's all for you. All right. Sorry. All right. That was episode 261 of the Alpha B podcast with Clint Nelson. This spontaneous podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, most important ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to suck some titties. Yeet. Meep, meep. All right. Have a great day, night, morning, evening, and most importantly, keep the mirrors out of the bathroom. Or just keep waist up. I don't need to see what underwear I'm wearing. Because then, like, I'm looking at myself, I'm looking at my calves, looking at my shins, and I'm like, do my pants need to be all the way down when I'm shitting? It's like, but then it's also weird you have it above the knees, and you're like, that kind of looks weird too. Like, what am I ashamed of? And it's just like, just shit and wipe my ass already. Imagine if we had just chauffeurs out there to wipe your ass. That would be pathetic. But amazingly impressive. All right. I'll see ya. You do have to call. Because I will be all right tonight. I feel like Usher's been to a few sex clubs. I'm pretty sure he's gotten a lot of good, but we still good. Yeah. Love in this club.